such a good question. This such a good question.
Yeah,
Can't wait to talk to you
it's a
about
real
this.
problem.
It's so good.
This week, I'm sitting down with Suzanne Tucker, a mom of four, a parent educator, and the founder of Generation Mindful. Hi, thank you for coming.
Thanks for having me.
When a lot of parents hear about positive parenting, they're thinking, parenting where you don't ever say no, or you kind of let your kids just do what they want, and they get really turned off by that. So what does positive parenting mean for you? What does it mean in practice?
So for me, positive parenting is both respectful and firm. If you want to think about, there's really 4 different ways to parent. Permissive is respectful, but it's not firm. Right? And that is a disservice to the child. A child needs discipline.
Yeah.
So positive parenting is firm and respectful. Authoritative parenting, which is the way a lot of us were raised, is often disrespectful, where the child does not feel like they have a voice. It's sort of be seen, not heard, or do what I say because I said so. So think about those 2 facets of respect and power. And then the 4th facet is the mixed bag approach, and that's where you're all over the board. One day you're permissive and then you feel guilty, and then you go over here and you're authoritative. We all know this, right?
Yes.
It just takes away our power.
Right. So my daughter, she's 6, and she can be really emotional. She will get very upset. She gets anxious. She gets sad. So I feel like I always have to be positive around her and try and show her the good side of things, which is a good lesson to learn, but I also don't want to treat her, like with kid gloves or be a little too precious about her emotions, because she also needs to learn to deal with bad things and figure that out. So what is your advice for striking that balance?
Give your child permission to be sad, to be angry, to be disappointed, to be dramatic.
Yeah.
We've got to shift our goals as parents from happy. That is my number 1 goal when I teach parenting classes. I have everybody write down, what is your goal? And we all write it down, and we cancel the goal. And I can't tell you, 9 out of 10 people are writing down, I just want my kid to be happy. Well, there goes all your power. When you cancel happy, I know that sounds awful because you just want her to be happy.
I do.
I know, I want her to be happy. You can actually get happy. Cancel happy as the goal, allow her to be emotive, and then you're there to be her guide by the side.
So you mentioned earlier that kids need discipline. So to you, what is the difference between discipline that works and then maybe punishment that doesn't?
So what we know is it's counterintuitive, but when we punish a child, we throw them into the brainstem. The brainstem has 3 options: fight, flight, or freeze. That is not where you want a child when you want them to learn and grow. You want them in what's called the prefrontal cortex. It's right up here. And that is a place where the child feels safe, connected, and they can actually take the coaching and learn from it. Positive parenting leans into discipline. Discipline is firm and respectful, and in it, I show you where you went wrong, what was the misbehavior, and then we give you alternatives and we teach you and guide you. Punishment wants to make you bad and wrong and scare you from doing it again.
My daughter, she's pretty well behaved at home, and we don't really have a lot of issues, but at school she gets in trouble, for talking or just kind of doing whatever she wants to do. It gets to a point where it's disrespectful. So how can I discipline her in a way that teaches her kind of how to act without punishing her for something that, she did hours before, and she's probably not making that connection?
So I would do what I call hit a reset button. I would sit down with her. Instead of shaming her about what happened, I would listen. I love starting a conversation with a child by listening and helping them know that they're safe. So with my body language, I'm not attacking you. All of a sudden you feel safer on that other end, and you're going to share with me. Maybe ask her, hey, what's going on at school? I know this happened with the teacher. The answer could be in her sharing. So as opposed to punishing her, listen and involve her in the solution. She might just come up with a brilliant idea, and your child's going to be that much more apt to do the thing that they thought of as a solution. So that's one thing I like to do with kids, is help them be part of the solution. As opposed to punishing her, you're processing with her.
So we have been working, since she was little, learning about feelings, naming feelings, talking about feelings, talking about mistakes. Mistakes are good. You can learn from mistakes. So how can I, make sure that the things that she understands now as a little kid are things that she can carry into, being a tween and a teen and eventually an adult.
One of the tenets of what I teach, really the number one, is my favorite way to put it into a mantra, is mistakes help me learn and grow. Mm-hmm. You're cultivating what's called a growth mindset in your child. When she understands it's through trial and error and sometimes making mistakes that I learn and grow, mm-hmm. she is a child that's going to take risks. She's going to put herself out there and learn through doing. What we find is that less resilient children are scared of making a mistake. It's called a fixed mindset. They say, if I do good, I am good. And if I do right, then I'm smart. And those children in research, they don't want to take on challenges. So if you keep that mantra front and center like you're doing, as your daughter becomes a tween and a teen, it's just natural. You don't need to do anything. It's really cultivating the mind energy and the belief systems. And when you allow for mistakes, you're going to get kids that make them. I think the number one thing you can do is model being forgiving with yourself. When you make a mistake, that means more to children than any kind of word or lip service. They're watching us. So when you drop something on the ground, are you beating yourself up, or are you like, no use crying over spilt milk? Right. That's really one point I would drive home. It's our actions that are teaching louder than our words.
Thank you so much for sitting down with us. Next week, we are going to do a deeper dive into Suzanne's parenting philosophies and some tools that she created to help parents take all of these lessons into their daily lives.